So I'm just in the forest here with the Note 10 Plus, and I've been testing out hyperlapses. I'm going to show you them now in a moment. It started to rain, it's getting late. You can see here I'm pretty soft because I'm using the front-facing camera in live view or live focus, and it tends to kind of make things a little, bumps up the ISO, makes things a little bit washy. I've done a video on that live focus view. I've done it a few minutes ago in these conditions, so you can see my opinion on live focus view. I've already got that video uploaded. I'll link that up here, I think, outdoors and kind of low light, because it is actually quite good, but there's kind of a couple of quirks to it that you need to be mindful of if you're going to get good footage. While I was doing the hyperlapse, what I wanted to do was I wanted to see, because there's a stabilisation mode built in that you can add as long as your footage is kind of 1080p and 30 frames a second. So your hyperlapse, you can do your stabilisation. I wanted to see if there was a big degradation in the quality between that and just it without stabilisation on it. So I stuck the phone onto my gimbal, G6 Plus, and I got a couple of shots just going back and forth, nothing too long, just kind of quick walking kind of along the length of the forest here behind me, well, just over beyond. And yeah, there is a little bit of a difference between the footage. I'll show you them now. So I would say immediately looking at those in camera, I can see a big difference between the quality, is particularly in like the darker areas of the handheld with stabilization. I don't think that's anywhere near as clean footage as without stabilization. And I think because it's a handheld hyperlapse, as it's called on the Samsung Note 10 Plus, you're kind of getting away with a little bit of the shake that's in it, as long as you're not going crazy and shaking things around the place. The hyperlapse itself is kind of smoothing things out a little bit. So if you can keep things relatively steady, and then what I've done is I've been walking, you know, but being mindful of my step rather than just kind of walking along, you know. So it is definitely worthwhile if you can keep your walk kind of steady. I'd probably be more inclined to turn the stabilization off and just do it handheld and just try hold it kind of as you know, steadily as I can. And the other thing is, if you can generally keep the camera pointed at the end of the line. Now, it's very difficult for me in the forest here, because if I was to try and point it and go for that end point over a long distance, I'd have my eyes and ears taken off me by all the tree branches here and stuff like that. So if you're out on the street, it's much easier to kind of point the camera at something and move towards it, as long as it's safe to do so. But I would probably turn off stabilization by hand. If you have a gimbal, use the gimbal and turn stabilization off. Is stabilization worth doing? Yeah, definitely. But when the lighting becomes quite challenging and it gets a little bit darker, I have a feeling it's probably going to reduce down the quality a little bit more. So that's just some sample footage, something for you to think about. I think, you know, it's worthwhile testing these things so that when it's time to use them, you kind of have a better idea which one to use, because generally when it's time to use it, you're going to want that footage and you'll have that one chance. And you don't want to be doing a hyperlapse for, you know, ages and then find out, oh no, it's all noisy. That's awful. It may be the only opportunity you have to get it. So I would certainly be inclined to just test these things out and see how they go. But that's my footage I got anyway. It's, again, camera reviews are interesting because every scenario is going to be slightly different, and you'll be able to see different things on different reviewer stuff than you will for mine. But I'm really glad you checked out the video. I hope you liked it. I'm doing loads of reviews and tutorials here on this Samsung Note 10 Plus because I think anybody who's interested in a flagship phone for a lower price, this phone is serious. I'd never used a Samsung before and I'm so impressed with it. I've done a review on my kind of switch to this from Huawei. It didn't happen because I wanted to, it happened because I needed to. My Huawei P30 Pro had a big hole in the glass and I've done a whole video on that. I'll link that up here. But guys, I think it's a really interesting, good, worthwhile phone. I got this at a lower price because I got it secondhand, which made it extra good value, and it's super. But as somebody, as like a pro camera user, somebody who exhausts every aspect of the camera gear that they have and has used so many different types of pieces of equipment, I tend to, just in my general use cases, use every aspect of the camera gear that I have. And that includes the camera gear on my phone, even more so than everything else, because it's the camera I have on me all the time. So I like to know when I pick it up what way this stuff is going to look when I enter into a certain mode. That's why I'm trying out all these different things, and you can just watch these videos so you don't have to try them out. You know what way it's going to work when you pick up your Note 10 Plus and you press those buttons. So that's it, guys. Going to wrap it up there. If you like the video, hit that button, subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Take it easy, guys. Bye.